can't wait for you to meet Chris McKenna. I knew him when he was 11. He's a little bit more, well, George Clooney-esque by now. Or should I say, slightly more sophisticated. All I can tell you is I really am proud of him. I can't wait for you to meet him. He's got some news for everybody, too. Some new, brilliant, fabulous news. So don't miss it. Don't go anywhere. And come back. We'll just be away for 1 second. Well, maybe 30. Hi, and welcome to the show. I am very excited about my next guest. I know I always say that, but I really am. I worked with Chris McKenna on One Life to Live. I'm not going to tell you.
Do the math.
No, I don't want to do the math. A long time ago. And now he's a man. He's a really hot-looking man.
Oh, wow.
And I don't feel like a dirty old lady or anything like that, but I do a little bit, kind of. Anyway.
I still think of you that way.
As a dirty old lady?
Yeah, you know.
Welcome, Chris McKenna. I'm so happy you're here.
I'm glad to be here.
I really am. Thank you. I just didn't even know if I was going to be able to reach you. You know, it's been such a long time.
I know. But Facebook, and we still have mutual friends.
Yes, we
I'm
do.
glad you did.
Yeah, me too. I've seen you on a lot of shows that I've watched as I raised my children, and I would bring them in, and I would say, he was on One Life to Live, and they're like, "Oh, that's nice, Mommy." I said he played Joey on One Life to Live, and so they'd go back and they'd watch it. They go, "Oh my God, he looks the same, but a little bit older." And I'm like, "Yeah, he does."
He's a lot more gray.
Yeah. But you were just the sweetest boy, right? So I'm watching.
I don't remember, was I?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and you were kind and thoughtful and wonderful, and your mom is still one of my favorite people on the planet.
My mom is very special.
Yeah.
Everyone still sends their love to her whenever they see me and knew me when I was a kid.
Yeah, you got, really,
Yeah, very lucky.
It says a lot about who you are when you meet your parents,
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll tell the story about your mom in a minute, but anyway, so I'm watching Lucifer, and I love that show.
Great show.
I wrote in when they were going to get rid of it the first time.
Oh, did you?
And I wrote in, and I started a campaign, and we wrote in.
Wow, look at you.
And they didn't get rid of it. I thought it was one of the most brilliant shows on television.
Wow.
And I thought he was fabulous. And
Tom?
I knew Tom came from England, and I knew he did a great job. And I just loved Chloe, and I had these great characters, and it was so out of the box and so unusual.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about God and the devil, and you can't, come on, nobody does a show like that that's funny.
And makes it work.
Right?
They originally saw me for Lucifer and Amenadiel, and eventually I was Ben Rivers.
Oh my gosh.
And they made the right decision.
Yes,
Those guys were great.
They did. But my gosh, I just thought, wow, what a great show. You can't let this show go. Yeah. So, so I'm watching the show, and you can imagine Joey, my vision of Joey, comes up as this really horrible guy. Your character was horrible, right? You were.
Well, it turns out he's being falsely accused.
Of course. Like
yes,
all the bad people I played on TV. Always falsely accused.
Marvelously.
And thank you, but always good reasons for everything that happened that wasn't
Indeed.
good. Just life wasn't really fair, and I had to make it as fair as I could.
You do what you got to do.
I know. So, gosh, this show is about dating, right?
Yeah.
So I've had so many men say to me, "How do I know you're not acting?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what my line back to them is?
What?
I don't act for free.
Well, now I got to use that.
Yeah, you got to use that one. So I've said that many, many times. So anyway, so when I saw you on that and you were playing this part, I thought, oh my God, he's really turned into an incredible actor. Because it's really a lot. It's a lot of justification in your mind, a lot of understanding of where this character's coming from and how this character's thinking, in order to make a character like that not Snidely Whiplash.
Not Snidely Whiplash, yeah.
Right?
Totally, yeah.
You don't want one of these guys.
The bad guy doesn't think he's the bad guy.
Ever.
That's the thing.
Ever, right? Just misunderstood.
Whatever, yeah.
Justified.
Yeah, his priorities are different than others, or whatever, however it is.
And you keep getting this part.
Well, I
join the club,
get good
kiddo.
at something.
Join the club. It's a good club to be in.
It's wonderful, and I
Yeah.
love it. I mean, it's the best written roles. It's so much fun.
It is, but you get killed off half the time.
That's also true.
That's the bad news, right?
Yeah.
I kept having to come up with some way or other that they wouldn't kill me.
But then you just get to pick it up on a different show and be a bad guy somewhere
Well, you
else.
get that.
You get to terrorize people.
I don't find that to be so easy.
Well, with that particular episode of Lucifer, Tom Ellis needed a week off, an episode off for his vacation contractually. So they needed another guy for that episode. So Tom's only in a couple of scenes that episode which he filmed earlier. So I had to like carry that. You know, they picked me and talked to me about it, and I needed to carry that episode as the leading man. So that was a really cool opportunity.
Yeah, it
Great
was,
role.
right? Did you get to get naked and get with all those girls?
Yeah, but off camera.
I can't believe the stuff that he does on camera with these women.
Yeah.
I mean, gee whiz. I can't believe the show's not on the air anymore. I mean, I know it's on Netflix, but I mean, it should never have ended.
No,
I mean, I could have watched that forever. And then now you're doing NCIS.
Yeah, I've been on
A lot of
Blacklist
time.
and Chicago Fire.
I
and
see you
NCIS
on
right
these
now.
things. Yeah. Did you play a nice guy on any of those?
Boy, let me think. In Chicago Fire, I play a real asshole. Can we swear here?
Yes.
Okay.
We're on cable. Or
yeah.
not even. I don't know
I
what we're
play a
on.
real hateful guy. I'm recurring on Chicago Fire. In the Blacklist, I play an evil CIA agent
Gosh.
who's betrayed the country. So much fun.
Yeah.
In NCIS, I'm playing well, I guess I shouldn't tip it. It hasn't aired yet, but I'm playing a guy they think is bad, but turns out to be falsely accused.
See, there's a good
know.
reason for being bad when you're being falsely accused.
Right,
Right?
exactly.
It's true.
Who can blame the
It's
guy?
Totally true. I mean, exactly. That's exactly what I thought. 3 or 4 husbands in. So, when you were younger, you're still really young compared to me. Everybody is. I didn't ever see you in any of the magazines or anything like serious with somebody. Did you have many serious relationships before this one?
Well, I had, let's see, in my 20s, I had 3 consecutive 3-year relationships.
Okay.
All serious. I was a serial monogamist. That was how I
did that.
liked things.
I did that. I like that too.
Um,
It means you're not a creep.
at least then I wasn't.
No. You only play a creep on
And
TV.
well, yeah, but it took me till in my 30s to learn how to be a creep, and that's how I did it. After that,
I don't want to know. Yes, I do.
After that, then I decided that's enough of always jumping in all the way right away. I started dating casually and started doing all that stuff for the first time, really. And that was fun.
In your 30s?
In my 30s. So I did that for many years. Had a couple of short relationships, a couple that barely made it into the press. But mostly
Fun.
always single until
Fun stuff.
I met my wife.
That's funny because those were your George Clooney years.
Yes, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I bet you did. I bet you did. So then, we're talking about online dating a lot and dating as a grown-up and adult dating. I think it's really weird now.
Yeah.
Very, very weird, especially after COVID. I mean, COVID changed the world in many ways, and I hated it. Everybody hated it. But the worst part was the isolation, I think, and not knowing when it was going to end, or being told it was going to end and then being told that it wasn't going to end, and being told that we're going to be free and then we're not, and then we should get vaccinated and it's going to keep you from getting sick, and then you take the vaccine and you get sick as a dog, and then da-da-da-da-da-da, right? And I have a lot of opinions about that, but that's for another show. But right now, I mean, it's like, I don't know how to meet anybody except online. So I went on a few of these things, and, there were people that probably haven't been out of their cave in several years, and they decided that I was perfect for them.
Oh, sure.
So that was a really weird, those were weird episodes. I'm like,
Yeah, and I'm sure you were a popular swipe.
it was a popular swipe, but I was like, how did you really think that this was ever going to go anywhere? It made me very nervous. And then I looked back at my profile to make sure there wasn't anything that indicated where I lived or what
Right.
street I lived on or what my phone number
They're
was.
just dreaming the impossible dream.
But
Let 'em have
it was very thank you, but it was very nerve-wracking. So then I had a couple okay experiences, but I never tried any of the young people ones. I never tried Hinge.
Yeah, which ones did you try? You mind me asking?
I did
don't
Bumble
know.
for 5 minutes until somebody that I recognized from the American film market sent me something and said, "Didn't you used to go out with so-and-so?"
Yeah.
And I went, okay, gotta
Yep.
get rid of next.
Totally.
And then Millionaire Match, only because my sister told me that she had been requested to go on that.
Mhm.
And I said, well, I don't want anybody to think I'm a gold digger. And she goes, well, most of these people are millionaires anyway.
Right. Bronze digger at best.
Bronze digger, that would be me. So I'm not a gold digger. I just play one on TV.
Yeah.
So I tried that, and I did meet a couple of nice people. And then I wanted to know which one you went on, and you said Tinder.
I did.
Now, I thought Tinder was a let's hook up and not talk about each other again or see each other again
It
ever.
is, for the most part. I virtually never touched that thing.
What thing?
Tinder.
I thought you were talking about. Okay.
No, I did. At first, I was really embarrassed about the whole thing. I went on. Occasionally, someone would recognize me, and I'd be like, yeah, but cancel that forever. Eventually, after years, I slowly stopped having my own opinion about it. The stigma about it seemed to stop making any sense to me. I would start going out with people, and yeah, Tinder. There was some. I can't even remember them all. Okay, Cupid, just ones. Then Bumble, then Raya.
I never heard of that one.
Raya. That one is for industry people and successful industry people. You have to, apply. And yeah, Tinder was mostly for fun hookups, but also the much better thing about online dating, and one of the main reasons why it will persist and get more and more normal for future generations, is that you get to know more about a person before you ever have to spend a minute with them. I get to find out if they can read, if they have, can get my jokes, if they have
They
any
can
sort
write.
of ambition, if they can write, anything about them. So that, like, instead of running into somebody at a bar or a club or getting set up or having to, meeting someone at work, this is I get to know something about them and just go no if it doesn't work. So
I like that too.
yeah, it makes a lot more sense, even though it takes getting used to, and it's an idea that the whole society has to get comfortable with.
But what about the people that just put up like one photo or two photos, or they don't say or the photos don't look the same,
Yeah.
so you don't even know if they're the same person or not.
I know, and I'm sure a lot of them are just tourists going through and looking. It's something you do on like your off time and look at girls' pictures or guys' pictures.
But you pay $270,
Not all of them. Some
not all
some
of them.
are free.
Which ones are free?
Okay, Cupid, Tinder.
Really?
Yeah, and the Bumble used to be. I don't know what it is now.
Oh.
Riot did cost money, but yeah, it's still something that the next generation, is going to.
gonna
That's
keep
how they're going to grow up doing, and that's going to make more sense. And I think it'll, like, how would I meet somebody who lived in Santa Monica if I lived in Silver Lake? I would have to have accidentally run into them at a bar or a restaurant
That's
or a club or
true.
work with them.
But
Now
what's
I
my
can
problem? I always want people that live in Florida.
well, we need a whole app just for that.
People that want to meet people that don't live anywhere near them.
Totally.
There should be one for that.
So Tinder I just happened to be glancing. I don't even know why I was looking at Tinder because I almost never used it. And I saw this beautiful girl, and she said something funny, and we met through that. And I didn't have any expectations of anything, and she was far too young for me.
What does that mean?
How young was she?
What does far too young for me?
17 years younger than me.
Okay.
That was too young. It was a problem
Okay.
for me. And it was just casual. But then it turned out that she was incredible and brave, and had come to this country alone and was
Where
getting
was she
her
from?
degree, Sweden.
Oh.
And she's getting this degree alone and in her second language, and she was brave and amazing and had a huge heart, and we spent more time together and
And had the guts to come here.
and really, which was a very brave thing to do.
It really is.
And is,
It really is to move.
living with Swedish roommates that she met online here. Yeah, it was very scary. It was scary. I thought I was brave, and I came to LA when I was but this is
Yeah,
my
you
language
and
in my
I.
country.
Yeah, me too. Right, exactly.
She's from somewhere else. So it was, and then she turned out to be amazing. And then COVID came. First of all, my family was in a bad car accident. My mother was badly injured. Everyone's okay now. But at the time, it
And we
was
talked about this because your
terrifying.
mom is like, already said, is one of my favorite people in the world. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I dropped my whole life, and I was going to leave LA for a
That
while
says so
to go
much
take
about
her
you.
for.
You're the right kind of son, you know?
She was the right kind of mom.
Yes,
The
she
least I
was.
could be is the right kind of son.
Yeah.
And then Lavisa, my wife, my girlfriend at the time, I don't even know if, yeah, I guess I would call her my girlfriend at the time. She said, I'll come with you if you want me to. And I was like, really? You're going to go to Connecticut and live with my parents? And she did. And then she was a nurse to my mother and a daughter to my parents and an amazing partner to me. And then we got got my mother out of rehab just in time for COVID to hit and decimate the whole rehab facility, kill many of the people there. So I felt like she had
my
just escaped with her life twice.
Yeah.
And I dropped everything, put everything in storage in LA and said, I have to live in Connecticut until this is over. And she said, okay, I'll come. And she got her degree, summa cum laude, online in her second language.
Did
from
she
my
like
parents'
Connecticut?
basement.
Because that's where I'm from. You know that.
I did. That's right. She liked my family, and I don't think she loved the place. And we were living in my parents' basement.
But the cold weather she's used to,
Yes,
and the beautiful
but she came to
fall
LA for a
and
reason to get
summer.
the hell
I
away from that.
understand. I understand, but I just love Connecticut.
Yeah, I do
know,
too.
I
We have
do.
affection for it, but so she helped. We bonded through the trauma of all that, and she's the best partner I could ever hope for and wish
so
for.
happy for
She's
you.
29 now, and we're
Yeah,
having our
but she'll
first child.
always be hot and always be younger
yeah.
than you, and you'll always keep that
And
in mind.
she's got a terrible deal. I don't know
I don't think
who
so.
talked her into this.
I don't think so. I think she's a pretty lucky girl. I do. I think you're a really lucky guy too.
I'm very
really
lucky.
excited. So we had the ultrasound today.
Yeah, we had a second ultrasound today. We saw the baby hopping around in there. It was very cool.
I'm so excited.
I'll show you the video.
Okay, I want to see. You know, when I was having children, you couldn't tell anything. It just looked like, it was this gray kind of picture, and you knew there was something there, but you didn't know anything.
I know. My mom was
Now
saying,
they almost tell you what color their eyes are.
Yeah.
Not so early, but I mean, really, it's crazy.
I know, it's so easy for them now. It's incredible.
It's really looks like a piece of art, like some kind of modern art now.
Yeah,
Somebody
but-
sent me one that was sort of not gray; it was sort of like bronze.
Oh, yeah.
a bronze
Oh, like, yeah, it's like a 3D.
Yeah, I was like, what is that?
We get that in a couple weeks.
It's so cool. It's so cool. So that's wonderful.
Very exciting.
So, are you guys going to live in Toluca Lake, or are you going to live in?
Yeah, I mean, that's where we are right now. We'll probably live in that area. She works at UCLA.
Oh, that's far though.
Well, she doesn't work. She works at a clinic from UCLA. She doesn't work in Westwood.
Oh, okay, cool.
So she works in Burbank, Sherman Oaks.
Okay, well, I'm going to come by and babysit, and
No,
you guys can go
lovely.
out to dinner. I used to live in Toluca Lake.
Yeah.
I've got friends over there. I love it over there. It's really
great.
one of my favorite parts of town.
Yeah, we've lived there for the past 8 months, and I love it there.
Okay, so when I was getting married and I was having a child, I doubt you even remember this.
What?
I don't know what you remember. When you're 11, what do you remember about me? Well,
I remember your cleavage.
You do? I'm so excited about that. That's the biggest
Sure.
compliment I've ever had in my whole life.
I was going through puberty on soap operas. It was a traumatic
I
place.
bet
for
it
me.
was. I bet it was. And the clothes they put me in. Oh my God. Oh my God. That's the nicest thing you could have said. I think I'm probably blushing. That's really nice, though.
Oh, well,
It's
sure.
nice to be remembered for
honest.
something good.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so I had this baby shower in Ridgefield.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't know if you remember this or not. But your mom made me a wooden potty for
That's
my
right. No,
daughter.
I do remember.
And she hand
She
painted it.
painted the whole thing.
And
yeah.
it's the kind of thing you can bring into your living room with all your friends and go, oh, look at this little potty.
What was the theme? What did she
Isabella.
paint? Isabella. Okay.
Yeah, it was just beautiful. I had flowers and little.
She's really
oh my God.
talented. It's great.
Unbelievable. I kept that for years and years and years. It's probably still in storage. I just thought it was the nicest
She's
thing.
retired from potty making, but I think she'll come out of it to make one for my
I bet you she will. I bet you she will. That was the nicest thing ever, and just everything she ever did was like that, Now, do you have brothers and sisters?
I have a little brother.
Yeah. What's going on with him?
He lives in Connecticut. He lives right in the same town as, in Watertown, Connecticut, where my parents live with his wife and his daughter.
Oh, so he's already married. So
Yes.
you're the last hope.
I know.
Yeah, you held out a long time.
I did. He gave them, their first grandchild long before I did. So
Yeah, so you're in your 40s
I'm 46.
and you're ready to settle down.
It's about darn time. I mean, yeah, I've been married for years now. We've been together for 7 years,
It's
and
a
I'm
long
finally
time.
having a child. Yeah.
That's beautiful. It's really beautiful. You've been married for 7 years.
No, we've been together for 7 years. Been married for 3.
Okay, that's cool.
We got married during COVID. We didn't get to have a big wedding, so we because of COVID. So, but we had to get it done for her immigration. So we got married at a yoga studio. We will
What position were you in?
downward dog naturally.
Of course.
So we will we'll do the proper ceremony when we can get everyone in town from Sweden and everywhere.
That's awesome. My first 2 nannies were from Sweden.
No, yeah.
Yeah, they were the nicest people. They were wonderful people, and we're still in touch with them. And my daughter's 24, and my other daughter's 25, and you need to start looking around for my daughters.
For your daughters.
Yes, you do. I don't want them on an app.
I was going to say, you mean on Tinder? Where do you mean?
No, not on Tinder. Definitely not. Yes, we need to start working on that.
All right, noted.
So what are you thinking about doing next? Do you want to continue to do your acting forever? Do you want to produce? Do you want to direct? Do you want to teach? What do you want to do?
I do already all of those things to some degree. First of all, I produce a podcast that I have all the rights to. This
You haven't asked me on.
I have not yet.
Yeah, what's the problem?
It's this author, Thomas Tessier, who is from the same town as me. He's a horror author. And he and I have been working together for a while, and I now am doing a podcast on all his short stories. So each episode is a new scary short story of his.
Those kind of podcasts.
It's great. I love doing this, and it's.
But make sure that you watch this podcast. We don't have that here. You can find that. There's lots of those, especially his. What's yours?
It's called Thomas Tessier's World of Hurt.
Thomas Tessier?
Thomas Tessier.
World of Hurt. Okay, we got that.
We got that, and I'm also working on producing some films of his novels. I've also done 2 of his audiobooks that I narrate.
So you really like this guy?
Yeah,
a lot.
and we've been friends, my whole life.
So Thomas Tessier's World of Hurt.
Yes, Thomas Tessier. Thomas Tessier's World of Hurt. That's the podcast, and I've also narrated 2 of his audiobooks, and we're working on getting some of his other work produced in films.
So how's he your friend?
I grew up with his son. Was one of my best friends growing up. We used to spend summer afternoons in Tom's writing room, drinking his homemade beer and talking about horror, which I love.
His homemade beer.
Yeah.
People make homemade beer?
They did that back then.
Okay, that's cool. Is that for underage people or all age people?
I think he was letting us. We were
experimenting.
Yeah.
That's not asterisk. I like that.
It was great, and I love his work. It's really well written, and he's big. Stephen King and Peter Straub are huge fans of his. He's a writer's writer.
Wow, this is going to be huge.
I hope so. I've been wanting. It's a labor of love. I've been wanting more eyes on his work my whole life. So
wow,
hopefully that keeps happening and keeps growing like it's been. I also teach. I coach. I work at
that.
Joshua LaBar Studios in Toluca Lake. I teach a class there and I coach. Just something I do. On the side, I just teach 1 class a week, but. I never thought I would ever do that. I hated acting teachers.
That's why you're probably a good one.
Yeah, it's like becoming what I beheld. But so I decided, I'll do it if I can make the class that I always wish I had taken.
Yeah, I did that too.
Yeah.
I had Tonja Walker's Professional Performing Arts Studio in Ridgefield, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to just do something for kids.
Yeah, I did kids' classes in Watertown too. But go on.
They didn't have anything that would teach my girls because we were so close to Broadway. You always need to have an audition song and a monologue.
Right.
So I wanted to send my kids someplace where they could get an audition song and a monologue. There wasn't any place like that. Mm-hmm. So I did that.
Yeah.
But I wasn't doing it for the money.
No.
So I paid for all the scripts. I paid for all the recopies of everything. I paid for the pianist. Then I decided we needed an opening number. And I decided we needed a choreographer. Then I decided we needed a closing number. And I decided we needed a venue. And da-da-da-da-da. And we did have a really great class and a lot of fun, but I didn't make any money at all. I had a blast. Yeah. I just spent everything everybody gave me because I wanted it to be fantastic. And it was fantastic. And the kids loved it. And the best thing that ever happened was when this woman came up to me and said, my son cannot get in front of anybody 2 or 3 people and have a conversation. And now that he's taken your class, he can get in front of his whole class and entertain the class and read and do his stories and everything. And I was like in tears, because I did something really good for somebody.
Right, that
Whether
matters,
it was, that really matters. There's so many things that we do that really matter in life, but when you choose to be, like when I came back to acting, and I really did leave. I really did. I was so gone. Right. I was working for, all these different United Cerebral Palsy and all these different things. But I was in, kinder music and stuff with my kids. I mean, I was really a mom, right?
Yeah.
So when I came back to this really recently, it's so self-involved that I just couldn't hardly stand it. I had been so non-self-involved for such a long time, and having to worry about my hair, my nails, my roots, my clothes, my waist, my teeth, my eyelashes,
It's not good for your mental health,
right?
this whole thing.
And it's just so me-oriented, and I thought, my God, this is like totally, because it's not about, when you're a mom and a wife, it's not about you at all. I mean, it's always about them and what you're making them and what you're feeding them and what the house is supposed to look like for your guests that are coming and for the thing you're doing for your family and your children and your class and your husband's business. And I mean, that's who I was. So all of a sudden, it was just weird. Yeah. Really weird. And then with COVID and being alone during those years, at least the kids got to be home with me because they'd been in school.
Yeah.
But now getting back acclimated to it, I just love doing this because I like focusing on you. I like focusing on other people. But I do think that it's very important to me to do what God put me on the earth to do, which I know one of the things was acting. I know I've always known that's what I was supposed to do, and music and art. But I like to travel.
Sure.
And I got to travel a little bit. Now I would like to travel. So I go back and forth about how much I really want to work because I'm not 46. I know it's hard to believe. But you start to go, well, how much do I want to work and how much do I want to play and how much time do I have left? I mean, these are not questions that you need to even think about.
What are you talking about?
Eventually,
I've had all these questions.
But eventually, you do think about that, yeah. But the greatest adventure that you're ever going to have is the one that you're getting ready to have.
The drive back from Malibu?
No, that will also be a great adventure. But there's just nothing like the love that you have for a child. I mean, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you just can't believe it. It's like I was up all night the night that I had my first baby, and I watched her sleep.
Yeah.
I couldn't close my eyes. I'd waited 37 plus years to have this happen, and I wasn't going to sleep through any of it. Yeah. So until I absolutely passed out, that was it. I put her right here, and I just looked at her all night.
But I mean, you hit on it like we're in a self-involved business, and I've been by necessity self-involved since I was 7 when I started acting. So I know there will be a major change that's inevitable when I first look at, my child's face and how I'll never be the most important person to me again. Now, my wife is already more important, but this is going to be something different, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I'm tired of being self-involved.
It's kind of boring. Yeah. It's kind of boring.
I'm just stuck with myself. Like, I know. I
didn't used to think it was boring. Now I think it's boring. I'm like, I know me.
You're sick of me.
Tell me, let me introduce me to more people. So, on that regard, keep me in mind.
Surely.
For, me and my daughters and our futures. And I can't wait to see you again and to see what other wonderful thing you're in next. When is the NCIS that you're on now?
February 26, 2024, so soon.
Okay, February 26, 2024. Watch my dear friend Chris McKenna on NCIS.
Thank you. It's been great.
You bet.
Good to see you, Tonja.
We'll be right back.